Alrighty. Hey-o! Howdy everyone. Beta Clone 076 here. Obviously, sort of. You don't hear the the little cute noises of the bike yet. But today I am taking advantage of this awesome weather. It's supposed to hit mid-80s again today, and I'm heading up to Frankfort, Kentucky. It's going to be about 3, maybe 4 hours worth of fun riding, depending on how many back roads I hit on the way there. They have done, up in Frankfort at Butterface Bike Shop has built a 1983 Gold Wing GL1100 cafe racer. Is inspired, I'm assuming, by Lars over in the UK, who built one a couple years ago. And except for theirs, they did it in matte black instead of a glossy black and gold finish. And I'm heading up there to see this bike in person, and also to see what other custom jobs they've got going on, and maybe check out a couple of their project bikes, and just go to a different shop for once. So I guess I'll talk to y'all. Hello, howdy everyone. Beta Clone 076 here again, and we're on our way. I am back up into familiar territory, very familiar. I have gotten more intimate with the land up here than I ever would have liked. More intimate than anyone should get with the land up here, considering that I'm on the section of 62 where I wrecked with Anna last fall whenever I was coming up to Lexington. So now I figure, well, got a buddy who one of these days he's actually going to get to go for a ride with me up this way instead of just staying around home within counties there, within those 3 counties that we ride around in and get to run to. And so this is kind of for him to record what the roads look like, and I will be going even slower than I normally do because I've got the camera going in my helmet. And so anyways, as you can see, it is some fun little roads. So anyways, I am well on my way to Butterface, and there's that school. Woo-hoo! If only I hadn't stopped to come back and look at that school, I might not have wrecked, because I might have been behind a school bus the whole time through here. So anyways, I'm well on my way to Butterface Bike Shop there in Frankfort, and just cruising along. I talked to one of the guys up there today, and they actually don't have the Gold Wing at the shop. It's stored in a garage, one of the guys' garages. And just because they've gotten so much business here lately, they said the shop was kind of full, which is awesome considering they just opened literally as a business a garage in Kentucky at the first of the year. So he said that they've already done 7 custom bikes, and they've got other stuff. I'm assuming they have other stuff in there that they're working on. I don't really know if they only do the custom job stuff or if they actually do regular maintenance style things as well. But that's something I suppose I'll find out whenever I get up there. And I'm looking forward to it. He said he'd go and get the Gold Wing for me, or I'd follow him over or something, and I could look at it and I'd get some pictures of it, talk to him about it, because I actually emailed, what's his name, Chris Rogers, I want to say. The guy who is behind, oh crap, I forgot, Bike Exif, EXIF, last night to see how it was that he found out about motorcycles, different custom jobs, cafe racers, bobbers, all that jazz. And the picture that I linked him was, I suppose, the inspiration for the bike that Butterface built. Because it was actually a bike done by a guy, Lars, over in the UK. And that bike was actually a picture on the Butterface. Hey, here's where I wrecked. Hello, ditch. Goodbye, ditch. That bike was actually on their Facebook page, and I linked that one thinking it was the finished product. And I think it's the matte black one that's on the Butterface page is the one that they actually built, which I honestly like the physical look of it better. I don't know, there's something that I like about the matte black unfinished look. I don't know what it is. I just like how it looks. So that made me a little happy that that one is the bike that they built and not the other one, because that was the bike that I honestly liked better of the two. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what else they've got going on over here. I've had my turn signal on the whole time. So it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. So yeah, see, look at all this. Won't it be fun on the 10 if you ever get permission to ride and we can actually go somewhere? Oh yeah. And like I said, this is one of the conversations my buddy and I had. Was telling him how much fun he would have riding up here on the 10, or on anything for that matter, and that he would probably go through this stuff, get to Lawrenceburg, turn around, ride back to Highway 555 back there, turn around, and then come back and still beat me to Lawrenceburg, no matter what bike I'm on. The dude can ride, and he can especially ride from my viewpoint, because I really can't. I have fun and I cruise along, and I lost my nerve, so which is probably for the best. That's actually the reason. Oh yes, that was something I was going to ask on the video. So I am, as much as I don't want to, I am going to make the switch to a cruiser. Just for, well, for a couple reasons. One being that last weekend, whenever I was in Lexington and I rode Red River Gorge over the Daniel Boone National Forest, I got spoiled by that little Shadow 600, by how well it behaved just all around. I'd forgotten how well it did. And after being on sport bikes for the last 6 months, how little wind actually affects a cruiser. I mean, the only wind that I really noticed on that bike was headwinds versus crosswinds. Like it was much windier last weekend, this past weekend, whenever I was in Lexington riding up here and riding home, and whenever I rode over to Red River Gorge, than what it is today. And I had crosswinds that weekend as well. Today the wind's coming out of the south. I'm traveling east, or actually it's coming out of the southwest, but I can notice it considerably more on this bike than I did on the cruiser, which of course is a 250. It's lighter and it's got all the plastics, so I got spoiled by that. The other biggest reason, well, one of the two biggest reasons, is that I can switch to a bigger cruiser and still get at least as good a gas mileage as what I'm getting on Richfield here. This bike is just not working out how I want it. I don't know if it's just the way I ride, if cruising at 65 to 70 most of the time it is just going to keep it from getting that good gas mileage. I mean, I ride her a little more like she's a bigger bike than what she is. I mean, so there's that, and I can get a bigger bike and still get the 50 miles to the gallon and get the cruiser, so I get the benefit of the cruiser. It's also for self-preservation, because whenever I'm on a sport bike, I want to play. I want to be able to ride. I know how good these bikes can handle, how quick they can be through turns, how much fun you can have on them. But after wrecking, I don't want to wreck again, obviously. And I don't want, honestly, I don't want the temptation there of it. And one of the other things is, I mean, riding a sport bike, I absolutely love riding the sport bikes. Now, I actually prefer the position naturally, but one of the things that drives me nuts is anytime it's a sport bike, one of the first things people ask is how fast is it? Is it fast? And that drives me crazy. I mean, yeah, and this is a 250. It's not that fast. Same way with my Katana, which it surprises people with this one that it's 90-95 is about all I can get out of it before I start hitting the 13 grand red line, which is low compared to everything I've read, but I really don't care on that part. The only thing that the top end really translates to me as is that with my top end being that low, that means I don't have passing power, which is my biggest, one of my two big complaints with this bike, is I don't have passing power. And if I'm giving up power, I had better be getting at least 60 miles to the gallon, if not 70, like what Kawasaki and everybody else says. And I'm not getting any of that. So, and then the other thing is riding, I ride naturally more comfortably on a cruiser. I don't know what it is. I'm just more confident riding a cruiser. I actually ride a cruiser more aggressively than I ride a sport bike. So, I don't know. I think I've got a malfunction. And then the other thing is that with the sport bikes, my friends, well, a few of my friends have sport bikes. And so since I've got a sport bike, they naturally assume I want to ride fast like they do, or some of them do. They naturally assume that I want to ride fast, I want to go flying through turns, all this other stuff, and I am more content to cruise. I mean, granted, my cruising is a little bit faster than what one of my other friends is who has a cruiser, but still, I'm content to cruise. I have no desire to push the bike, to push myself. I don't want to find out where my limits are. I've already done that whenever I was more inexperienced, and so that's not something that I care to experience again. I would absolutely love to go to the track, learn how to ride, that kind of stuff, but just as an everyday rider, and for me right now with what I'm doing, and that I actually use the bike as my primary means of transportation, I would rather have the cruiser and have the ability to comfortably get out on the interstate and not have to worry about crazy winds and buffeting, which I don't have. Buffeting doesn't bother me any longer, even on this bike. But strong, not even strong, moderate winds can be a little unnerving at times. So that's something. Well, actually, the winds are worse on Ziggy on the concourse than they are on Richfield here. But excuse me. So yeah, so that's what's going on, and I hope the droning of my voice doesn't ruin the view down through here and being able to watch it. I guess you can just turn some music on and watch it, or turn the audio off and watch it if you're actually watching it to see the roads and stuff. But yeah, so and so the whole reason I was bringing the cruiser thing up is I am torn on what I want to do. Of course, the bike I have wanted and probably should have started with, if I other than a 250, would be a Magna. I can get a Honda Magna very cheap. I can get it from my friend's father, and I can get it from him really cheap. Well, I consider it really cheap. That could just be me, because that's the bike that I have always wanted. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's my dream bike. The drawback to that bike is it's a 94. It's got 20,000 miles on it. I know that really doesn't mean anything. but it's a 94, and it's the V4, so the engine is, for lack of a better word, I guess, bulletproof. They are put together well, and last well as long as you're even moderately nice to it. My only fear with it is that if something goes wrong, those can be a pain to get parts for. So I can get that cheap. I can get that for $2,500, thereabouts. Or the other bike I was thinking of was a 2005 Shadow Sabre 1100. That thing, I mean, it's basically an 1100 VTX is how it equates to me as far as the looks and the feel of it. It's surprisingly agile for the size bike it is. That was surprising. I would have to change the peg position. I don't like the foot peg position, or maybe just do forward controls on it. Or, well, put highway bars on it, crash bars, and just put the pegs up on that, and that would probably take care of my issue with where the foot pegs are. Or there's that bike. It's got between 16 and 17,000 miles on it, and it's $4,000. At least list price is $4,000. I know I can get it a little bit better. And so, I mean, it's really between those two bikes. I don't know, the two things on those bikes, possibly the two real deciding factors would be durability of the Magna, which it should be plenty durable. Comparable miles. It's just 10 years old, 11 years older, but it should run and do fine. The other thing is, whenever I was looking around on things for gas mileage, I want economy out of a bike. That's the whole reason I got this one, was for the economy of it, and it's not that economic. At least this bike isn't. I don't get the numbers that everyone says and Kawasaki says that it should get. Other than that, I love the bike, but there's that. So, but anyways, the Magnas tend to be around what, 40 to 45 miles to the gallon. Seems to be pretty average. And then I've heard all kinds of varying gas mileage reports for the Sabre. I mean, I've heard as low as like 37, 38 for constant riding, and I've seen over 50. So I don't know which way it really is, what's going on with that. And I don't know, I figured I'd ask you all what you think on that. I mean, the Magna has been what I've wanted. It'll probably end up being the choice I go with, but it's something I'm going to have to consider. Is the Sabre worth $1,200, $1,300? I would assume $1,200, $1,300 more. Is it worth that much more to have a newer bike, a little bit more mass to it, and stuff, or or a well, I'm gonna pull over up here and get a drink, and I will talk to you all after that, I suppose. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'll talk to you all real soon. It'll be real soon for me. It'll be even sooner for you, since I'll just edit it together, and I won't keep the camera in my helmet while I go into the store and all that jazz, because that's just weird. So, alright, and I'm back. That was refreshing. Had to give a buddy a call. Thought he was actually in Frankfort, but he went home early, and he's in back home in Georgetown, so I'm not going to be able to meet up with him while I'm up this way. But anyways, what I was saying before I stopped to get a drink was those are the two bikes that I'm really considering. But then I've got a buddy who's got a Sportster 883 that he's bobbed out and I really like how that bike looks. And he's thinking about selling it. I haven't asked him how much he wants for it or anything like that. But it would be cool to have that as well, because that gets me down. I don't know, I haven't ridden it. We're supposed to go out riding sometime because he wants to ride Richfield here, or he wants to get a, he's thinking about getting a sport bike. And so he said something about, I told him he could ride Richfield anytime he felt like it. We could go out riding. Assume he would ride Richfield, I'd ride his Sportster, and that would be entertaining. And so that's the other possibility. I don't know. I figure it's a Sportster, it's custom. It'll probably be higher than what I'm able to spend right now on a bike, even with selling, getting rid of both of these bikes, getting rid of the Ziggy and Richfield. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And figured, hey, why not just ask everybody out in YouTube land what they think. And so I'll have to wait and find out on that, assuming people respond to it. So yeah, anyways, I think all the fun riding is over, at least for the twisties and turns, because I'm going to be on 127 here all the way up into Frankfort. And it should be, it's a main highway, so it's going to be basically just zipping along. And I believe it actually stays as 4 lanes of traffic with the median highway and all that jazz. So anyways, yeah, that's about all I can think of right now. I don't know what else to talk about, and it's not really this isn't really an area to sit back and go, oh, look how pretty. Which actually, it's kind of nice up here whenever spring actually kicks in, and in the summer when everything's out and in bloom, which all of Kentucky for the most part is like that. Especially up here, you get into the bluegrass and such. I'm looking forward to that whenever we make our ride. Hopefully make our, well, I say a group ride. It'll be a small group. I mean like 3 or 4 people probably, maybe 5, riding up the Red River Gorge. And come up whenever the bluegrass is actually blue. And that's just nice to see. Especially going out the way that we'll go out there on the highways. It will be very, very scenic. I'm sure there will be an entertaining video for that. Probably end up with, I brought a friend's Contour HD last week and didn't get to do any videos with it. I actually made a video yesterday, and the good one, the one where I was actually having fun playing on a road I know, the file was corrupted, and so then whenever I was coming back in, I didn't know the road nearly as well, and so I was riding even more conservatively than normal. And but I made that video more for me, because I go to sleep listening to motorcycle engines, and as much as I love listening to the videos where you've got the inline 4 screaming, whenever it really starts screaming, it gets my attention and I'll jerk awake and see what's going on, or I'll sit up and I won't go to sleep. So I did the video with what was it? I'd found one that was pretty good to watch, and I'd been watching my little video from Mammoth Cave whenever we went down there, which doesn't have the engine sound. It's just Phil Rossi's music from the soundtrack of Crescent. But this one, the video I made, I went to sleep to last night, was the video that I recorded yesterday. And there's just something about this little parallel twin. I love how it sounds. It, especially with regular highway riding, it doesn't scream like it does now, which I'm running 70, 75. So, something with this one. I don't know what's up with this bike. Why? Because the tach was reading correctly up until I got caught out in a thunderstorm with a bunch of hail and she got all wet and was reading I don't know, what I've seen people who've had videos or have mentioned it on forums, whenever they're cruising at 60, running at 7,000 RPMs. And now, since that storm, I run at 8,000 RPMs running at 60 by my speedometer. So I don't know what is up with that, but I don't know. It's just annoying. That it's like that. So I don't know. There's just little things that drive me nuts with this bike, and I don't know. I guess it's because I have a hard time being content anyways with things. I had to learn to be content with my terrible piece of garbage car, and now that I've got motorcycles, well, I'm trying to find the one that I can live with. Like, a car is a little easier to live with. And the thing that drives me nuts, too, is I don't want to be on a motorcycle that my little Corolla can run away from. That if someone in a nasty little 2001 Toyota Corolla, if I go out to pass them on this bike, if they feel like messing with me and they floor it, they can actually prevent me from passing them. It's how little power this thing has with me on it. I don't know if it's just because I'm over 200 pounds. I don't know, 205, 210. I guess it depends on the day. Maybe 200. I don't know. 200 at least, maybe 210. How big of a difference that makes? I wouldn't think that it would make that big of a difference, but I suppose it could. And I don't know. That's one of the other things about this bike that drives me nuts, is that something like that can literally outrun me. And if they're in a screw with the person mood, they can actually keep me from. Okay, there was a motorcycle back there somewhere. I don't know where he went. They can actually keep me from getting around them, even if they're going slow, like 50, 45, 50. If they floor it, they can actually keep me from getting around them. I don't know. Now I'm yammering. And so, yeah. That's one of the other things with this bike. And the seat, which the seat can be fixed. That's no big deal. I can always switch out seats, which I've actually looked at that before. I was looking at all the things I could do to this thing. I was debating on the Two Brothers exhaust or the Akrapovic, and the other thing was that I was would be, of course, jetting it, maybe putting wow, that's always fun, missing a tire. So, and then doing different tires on it, the more aggressive tires. Maybe along the line putting a hypercharger on her, but I mean, I know those are all sports things, performance things, and so those should damage the economy value. But I mean, if I'm already getting 600-ish economy values out of it, gas mileage out of her, then there's no point in messing with that. It's like, why try it? It's like if I was getting the gas mileage that the 250s are rated for, then yeah, I could do that stuff, get the extra power, get the performance, maybe lose on the gas mileage, but gain on the performance wise, and that would be nice. And oh, and switching out the CDI box, that was something that I stumbled across. Actually, I think it might have been last night, where people have taken the new models and they have put the previous generation CDI boxes on them to get that 15,000 RPM rev limiter, and they said they actually get a little bit better, the better performance out of it. So that would be cool. But those are all things that I would do if she performed how she's supposed to, not how she is performing. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's going to be about it. Where am I? Am I already in Frankfort? I'm going to have to pull over and find out where it is I'm turning now, because I didn't look at the map again while I was stopped. I should have. So yeah, I'll get on up here past I-64, I guess, and then I'll pull over. Actually, I'll probably pull over up here in one of these parking lots and look at the map. There's a gas station. Gas stations are always good places to stop. There's a couple bikes, but I'm not going to catch up with them. So, alrighty. Well, that's going to be it for now. Almost there. And this has been BetaClone076. Oh, I'm not going to do the spiel. I'll just tell you, I'll talk to y'all real soon, because that's more what's going to happen.